Head office. Head office.
Head office.
Yeah, we used to say head office.
Yes.
Because, well, English speakers cannot say head office. So
What does head office mean?
head office means bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay.
So instead, we ask everyone to say head office.
Head office.
It's close enough.
Head office.
Head office, for sure.
We are in the head office headquarters of, Andrew Penson's podcast.
Beautiful.
Well, welcome, Hassan.
Good start. Thanks for introducing your previous guest. Finally, I mean, after 3 weeks, finally introducing your guest. That's good. Now try with the current one.
All right. Hi, Arman. Welcome. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. How are you?
Good. I'm doing fantastic. For the people who don't know, just introduce yourself.
I'm Arman.
You're Arman.
Yeah, I'm Arman. I live in North Van. I think these are the two important things. I'm 37.
Those are the most important things in your life right now is that you live in North Van and you're Arman.
Yeah. Well, if I would say I'm a Persian, it would the North Van part was unnecessary. You would know.
Yeah, of course. In Vancouver, everyone, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm 37. Am I? 85? Yeah, I guess. 37-ish. I'm a software engineering manager. I'm married. No kids. No pets. Not planning to have kids. Planning to have pets.
Where are the pets? Come on.
When we buy a house.
Oh.
So.
But you own your place now.
Yeah.
Are you going to do the Vancouver thing and rent that out?
Hopefully. Yeah, I don't want to sell it. We really like the place. We worked a lot in it, lots of renovation and such. So hopefully we keep it.
How long have you lived there?
3 years and a half.
Okay. And when you buy a house, where do you want the house?
North Van.
North Van.
Yeah, I'm not rich enough to buy it in where I want it. So.
And where would you want it to be?
Near the what is it? White Cliff. In West Vancouver.
Okay. Oh, yeah. In West Van.
Yeah. I don't like British properties, but if I had the money, I mean, right now I can't. But anyways, so I don't like it there that much. My brother lives there, but I want to be close to the water as much as I can.
I love the water. Like in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And you've been in the West Van. I forget what it's called. The viewpoint when you can see Vancouver.
Cypress? Yeah, Cypress Viewpoint.
Yeah,
one of my favorite places.
Yes, it is so nice to look downtown, see the city, particularly at night when it's that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's my go-to place. Whenever the weather is weird, I go there with my camera to take some photos.
You like photography, right?
Yeah, I've done photography for 17 years. I've taught photography as well. But yeah, I like it. Lots of prints on our walls. And yeah.
What else are you into that you do?
Lots of hobbies. 3D printing.
3D printing?
Yeah.
I've never done any 3D printing at all.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun for sure.
So tell me about it.
So I have two different type of 3D printers. One uses the PLA filaments to
PLA.
Yeah, it's kind of a plastic.
Okay.
Biodegradable plastic that it melts the plastic from the nozzle onto layers, and you can 3D print any shape you want.
Mm-hmm.
You design the 3D shape, and then it prints for you. The other one is the resin-based one,
mm-hmm.
which is basically a UV screen, and it sheds the UV light, passes through a screen. This screen is not UV, So the screen is a LCD. The LCD passes the UV light, and whenever it hits the resin layers, which is in liquid format, it becomes solid.
Okay.
So as soon as resin meets UV light, it becomes solid, and that's how the layers are printed.
So it's kind of like epoxy, like where
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the result of these are kind of different.
So how are they different?
So the resin is pretty breakable, I guess. It's fragile. PLA is more flexible, but it's not toxic, so you can print something like a glass or something and drink out of it. But with resin, you shouldn't, because it's toxic.
Okay, but it's more rigid.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, but basically the resin is good for when you want to print models or something with lots of details, because the layers are so thin, you usually don't see the layers. But with PLA, you may see the layers.
okay.
Yeah.
What do you like to print?
In the past 6 months, I haven't printed anything almost, but what I usually print is, with the PLA one, I usually print parts and some things like a hanger or something that I use at home.
Okay.
So I use it for practical stuff purposes.
Do you ever like fix broken things?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I love to do that.
Like that pisses me off. You have like plastic part, and it breaks, and then you have to throw away the whole thing. But you can fix it.
Yeah. I try to do that as much as I can, so you can do your own design, measure things, and design it. And there are lots of free tools that you can do your own design, and then you print your ship. So yeah, I use the PLA one for that, and I use the resin one for models. Like I have this keyboard key with the shape of the head of the what is it? Star Wars character.
On your computer keyboard?
Yeah, on the
okay.
mechanical keyboard that I have for gaming. So one of the keys is actually a 3D printed one.
You're one of those guys. You're like Minnick.
I have the mechanical one for some noisy gaming, but for coding, I that's too noisy for me. So I use the like Apple keyboards.
How much coding do you do still today?
Well, I'm working on my own startup, so lots of coding.
So tell me about your startup. Like, it's an AI space, right?
Yeah, that's right. So it was, I think, 2021 that I got access to GPT-3. Back then, it wasn't as famous as how it is today. Today, everybody talks about ChatGPT and such. But I started playing around when I got my beta access. I started playing around with GPT-3, and it was crazy. Like it was generating crazy stuff. So, and I was doing lots of digital marketing at that time. I still do. So I was like, I need to use this. I need to use this for good, like for something useful for people. So I started working on the first code commit of this startup I'm working on. Started on July 21st.
Okay.
That was the first code push. So,
July 21st of
July 21st of 2021.
2021. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So I started then. I wasn't focused in the first 6 months that much, but then it became more serious for me. And when ChatGPT, I guess, news happened, I was so happy because I needed to spend less on ads and marketing. People knew it. People trust it now. So that's a very good thing for someone who is in the AI space. I've been in love with this, like with the AI and how I can use it for practical usages, I guess, for the past 10 years. To be precise, from the day I saw Boston Dynamics robot Atlas, the first video I saw, I knew that AI and robotics are becoming a thing. Like I was thinking about a day that robotics can combine with like a smart software in its mind, and AI and robotics are, in my mind, are very close together.
Do you think they're gonna take over us, bro?
The definition of takeover, I think, is it could be scary, but it could be nice as well. So
nice.
Yeah, not takeover. I mean, like killing us. I mean, takeover by like as a day-to-day usage. I mean, like
I know what you mean now.
Yeah. So yeah, nobody wants to be dead, right? So,
You know, I've had this idea.
okay.
I would not execute on this, and the reason is I don't have a passion for it, right? But me and Minnie were actually talking. The company name would be called Engineer Killers,
Okay.
and I would combine virtual reality, augmented reality, um, with computer generated images,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would combine that with AI, and then I would take a product person and be like, hey, for now on, you interact with AI, and AI will give you instant results on what you want. So like have a conversation like an engineer does, and rather than wait 6 months to get a product, boom, and then eliminate the entire engineering department. Gone.
Well, yeah, uh, it will happen um, in the next 10 years. But
Do you think it's going to be the next 10 years? I struggle with this. Like I think it's high chance,
you mean like it's going to be sooner?
or like sooner or later. Like is your
Um,
prediction 10 years?
for what exactly? So for customer service jobs, for consulting jobs,
Mm-hmm.
I would say 4 years ish is going to get scary. And there are some predictions out there as well. 4 years ish. So lots of jobs will be affected, I think. Um, but for coding, it will take around 7 to 10 years because what the chat GPT and what coding is like, what it is capable of today is not coding per se. It's a scripting, what I
Mm-hmm.
call scripting. It's
Mm-hmm.
just short functions that it works, but it's not coding in terms of software engineering. What we are doing is software engineering. So that means that lots of complexity, lots of functions talking to
Mm-hmm.
each other, lots of logic going into it. That will be done by AI someday, but today I think it's far from it. But when it comes to scripting, writing a SQL query, writing this
Yeah.
function that does this, spin up a page that does this, that's not coding in a way. That's kind of scripting, like a short function, short, or a small, isolated application. That it's almost there. Like it's not too bad today. In the next 2 years, it's going to be
No,
awesome.
I use ChatGPT a lot at work. Like for like those things. If you know the exact result that you want, like I use it for some Terraform code a lot, where like I want a Terraform module that does these exact things. It's really good at
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah, I can
that
imagine.
boilerplate crap, it
Yep.
does that really well.
Yeah, I can imagine. So yeah, in those areas, it does great. I use Copilot in my everyday coding,
The
and it writes.
GitHub.
Yeah, yeah. I have free access. I don't know why I have free access. I started in the beta testing, and I still have free access. So I'm
Is
using
it
it.
better than ChatGPT?
It is different because with ChatGPT, you're saying, do this for me, and then that's it. But in Copilot, while you're coding, it has the context of your code. So it actually gives you suggestions of things related to your code,
Oh,
including variable names, function names, inputs, outputs.
is it your whole code base?
It is the whole code base. So
Wow.
it's actually pretty useful. I would say 20% of my day to day coding is being done by the Copilot, 20 to
Wow.
30%.
And do you notice a difference in like ways where one might excel over the other, like where Copilot's better than GPT or vice versa?
I would say so because with Copilot, it has the context of what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing. So the suggestions are more useful. I don't, Copilot is not capable, it's not doing, what it's not doing is giving you a whole function just out of blue or
Mm-hmm.
any prompting. You don't do prompting with Copilot.
Okay.
You're coding and it suggests that, are you about to write this? And you just press tab and it writes the whole code
Oh,
for you.
okay.
So it's different. There's no prompting in
Oh,
Copilot.
okay. So like if you had an algorithm in mind, like a binary search tree, like you couldn't tell it create me a binary search tree in JavaScript.
No, it doesn't have that.
Oh, okay.
Copilot doesn't work that way. Like it's more, it doesn't have prompting. You're coding, let's say you say const function um, a square like I don't know, multiply calculation,
Mm-hmm.
and you start that function without writing the inside the implementation of that function. the suggestions show, are you about to write this?
Oh,
And it does cool stuff. Like if you have a const file and let's say you're working on a translation file, and you write the file in English,
mm-hmm.
and then you open another file and it is let's say in Persian language,
Mm-hmm.
with the same key. As soon as you write the key, it translates the same key in English in Persian, and it
Wow.
suggests that. So
Wow.
it's smart. It's very, very smart. It surprised me. Sometimes I'm too lazy to even go to ChatGPT, and it actually helps.
You know, I find this it's annoying when I have to leave my editor,
Yep,
or even when I have to start to articulate what I'm trying to do. Like if I have to spend 5 minutes creating a detailed prompt, I can totally see.
exactly, exactly. So I would suggest you trying Copilot as well. That's kind of, to be honest, the basic idea of the startup as well. Um, the startup is,
Your startup.
yeah, the startup is about helping those who want to sell online, e-commerce platforms, whoever that is working with e-commerce platforms, to do their marketing easier. Right now, let's say as a marketer, you're selling, I don't know, shoes, and you want to start creating your ads. Yeah, you may go to ChatGPT, and then you need to start thinking, what is the right prompt, or find a tool that gives you the right prompt to work with ChatGPT, all that. And even in that case, one prompt may not do. Those who are writing those prompts are just writing prompts to write prompts, but
Mm-hmm.
it may not be as helpful or in detail as you want for like an ad for Google Ads in the detail that you want. Basically, what we are doing is basically empowering the users to do their marketing by kind of interviewing them, like asking the first question, second question, third question, and one by one, by asking those questions, the ad is generated out of those questions. So it's kind of helpful for them versus working with ChatGPT, which is just one prompt, one set
Sure.
of answer.
So it's kind of like a wizard, kind of where.
We call it tools in our
Mm-hmm.
application, but yeah, it's a step by step questions. A step one, answer these four questions, generate the titles. You get the titles, and then you edit them, and you say, okay, now the title of the ads are good. Now generate the descriptions. Before that, we may ask you two more questions.
Okay.
So in this way, we're helping you to actually write the right Google ads instead of just a one shot ChatGPT prompt that may or may not be helpful.
Is it targeted to only Google Ads?
It's targeted for marketing for online store owners. Google Ads is one of our tools. We have Blog Writer, we have Keyword Generator,
Mm-hmm.
we have Product Idea Generator. But again, in that part, the main difference between what we are doing compared to others is, if you open up like a similar app, like let's say Copy.ai, you open that and you see hundreds of small tools that you need to know which one to click, and you
Mm-hmm.
open them. One is only product title generator. You work with the product title generator, it generates the title. Now go to the product description, another tool altogether, and
Okay.
then put the title there and generate the description. Now take your description, go to the next one. So lots of small tools. Instead of that, we combine those tools into one, saying that you want to write a product description. So product description and title and keywords and meta tags, everything could be in one tool.
And what about like images and things?
Yeah. So that's coming in the next month. We are adding images. We are hoping to add images for
Mm-hmm.
ads, images for landing pages,
Okay.
and lots of. My brother is the co-founder, and he is an AI expert, and he is fine tuning a few models to do the images.
So I have a couple questions. I'm interested. So one would be, do you push directly to the different ads, like to like if I want to put an ad on Google Ads or on Amazon or wherever, do you interface directly? Like I write it once, then I'm like push, and then it will just go there.
That's where we are going. It's in our roadmap in the next 3 months.
Okay.
So the idea is this: imagine this world. You say, I want to start a store. You will start with our first tool, business generator. You say, I want to start selling shoes,
Mm-hmm.
and we ask you a few questions. we define the name of the business, we define the logo, we define the description of the business. Then you say, generate keywords out of this one. You go to the next tool, and this tool is aware of the other tool that you used. So it generates the keywords.
So, question: when you're putting in the product description, right? It, are you putting in like the description yourself, or is AI generating the description for you, or is it like both?
So we ask some questions that people may know to write the product description ourselves, but we break down the questions. Let's say for the product description, we say, what is it that you're selling? The
Mm-hmm.
answer is shoes. You
Mm-hmm.
know the answer to shoes. You don't need help to say
Sure.
shoes. The second question is, what are the main features of this product? AI cannot guess your physical product outside, right?
Sure.
They
Yeah.
don't know if it is biodegradable, it is a weather sealed, or I don't know, all the
Mm-hmm.
features of a shoe, right?
Yeah.
So you list all the features that your shoe has without knowing
Okay.
what you want to do with it. Then we ask, is there anything else you want to mention about the shoes? And they may say something or they may not. It's optional. And
Okay.
they say generate with the title of the shoes, with their business information and keywords that we already know in their profile
Wow.
that we asked. And with the information they gave us for the shoes, we generate the full product description. And then when the product description is ready, we call it chaining tools. They click on create an ad out of this product description. So they just generated a product description. They say now create an ad for this. So we have their business information, keywords, product description, and we can create a Google ad for it. We just ask two more questions. Is it an ad for awareness or for conversion or finding leads, this and that? And then we create the ads for it. So it makes it super easy for store owners to actually, with a chain of events of
Mm-hmm.
like chain of tools, they can actually go from starting their business, writing product description, generating ads, and out of that, a blog post and email marketing as well.
Wow.
And they, in the next 3 months, we are adding integrations so they can just push the product description and it goes directly to Shopify, to WooCommerce, to the platforms.
That's going to be super cool.
Yeah, I think so. I'm excited.
I can tell. Let me ask this: when I kind of lost my train of thought there. Shit. When you're generating the descriptions and things, how are you determining like this will be useful? Like, are you using analytics to like figure out like, oh, these keywords or like these things mixed together? How are you getting that data? Like, all that stuff.
Yeah. So while we are working on this, there are lots of APIs out there when it comes to keyword generation and quality checking.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of APIs out there that they check for relevancy of your keywords, if it is the right long tails or like main keywords that you need to have to start selling, the trending keywords, what is the CPC or cost per click for those keywords. So there are APIs that actually evaluate the result,
Mm-hmm.
and we make sure that the result is with the high quality, and we also give the indicators to the users so they can actually see the quality of what they're generating.
So you're saying after the ad's published,
Not
they
after as published. When we're generating
mm-hmm.
the keywords, at the keyword stage, we need to make sure that those keywords actually have value
Okay.
before we go to the ads.
And you're calling external APIs to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And then after the ad's published, then do they get metrics like in your platform?
At this point, at this second, we don't have that in our short-term roadmap of
Mhm.
the next 3 months. With the rest of the stuff I said, you're gonna see half of it is already there. The rest is gonna come out in the next 3 months. But what you just mentioned in terms of seeing metrics, it is in our roadmap, but not in the short-term one, because there are lots we can help with the store owners within this space.
Sure, yeah.
Of writing product descriptions. One of them is optimizing their landing pages and product description content. So they can give us a link and we crawl the page and we say, change these 3 words. It's not aligning with the keywords you're working on. it's not aligned with the content that we're
Okay.
working on. So lots of optimization and suggestions that we can do. So we think that there's still lots of space, lots of things we can do here,
Hmm.
and we're not yet planning to go and onto that metric part of it
I
yet.
understand. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Uh, what about the stuff that you generate,
Mhm.
like what I'm copyright stuff like that? Like, are you pulling it from other sources, or like it like how are you generating the actual like words?
Yeah, so it's AR generated with multiple AIs. Right now, the main source is GPT-4,
Okay. Okay.
but the prompt is lots of condition and the way that we are generating the prompt. Let's say that if you fill out these three fields,
Mm-hmm.
we change the prompt altogether, or we add or remove some stuff from the prompt based on what you're filling out. So we customize the prompt. It's a long, detailed prompt that we customize. As well as that, for some of the tools, we used other APIs and other models. Right now, we are working on fine tuning a model for image as well, as I mentioned, to fine tune the images for products only. Like we want you to be able to take a photo of a shoe, and then we generate that shoe in a like outside in like by the river. We
Mm-hmm.
generate an
Yeah.
image
Yeah.
of that shoe in the right way, in the right place, and with the right appeal.
Have you seen I think it was Adobe Photoshop.
Yeah, I worked with
I
it. Yeah,
I saw the new commercial
or
like on, and it was crazy. Like before you would have to like do all that stuff yourself, right? Like you would have to go and be like, okay, take this picture, overlay it here, put the shoe here. You're cropping, you're doing all this pixel stuff. Now you can literally be like, type, on there, change my background to the beach.
yeah.
Eh,
Yeah, I worked with it. I have the Adobe subscription,
mhm.
and I worked with it a bit. It's very fun. There are lots of tools out there as well that you can use for this. Well, Midjourney doesn't do that exactly, but there's this tool, Leonardo AI, and it's pretty
Okay.
awesome. It does some of these as well, but yeah, these are just the beginning days for our AI. But what we are doing is instead of just saying that AI is cool, we just want to use AI for whatever, we want to solve a problem. That
Hmm.
problem is for those who want to sell online. They may not have the budget to pay a digital marketer or pay lots of different services. They just want to pay as least as possible. Even our payment system is you don't have to pay for subscription. You can pay as you go, like just pay for whatever you use, and then they generate what they want
Okay, so like you would charge like per ad generated or something like this.
per AI and tools usage. So they click on
Oh,
a
okay.
usage, even inside one tool, they may use the first two step, they may not use the third. They
I
just
see.
pay for the first two.
That's smart. That's
Yeah,
smart.
so we want to make sure that we're not spending people's money if they're not using it. But subscription has this issue, which we don't believe in it yet.
And then how does your pricing model work? Like as far as like I'm a person, I'm interested. Like, how do I estimate my rough cost? Like, is it like a dollar per like like
I can tell you. So right now we are the way that the system works is this: we give people 10,000 credits
mm-hmm.
when they sign up, free credits. One credit is roughly equivalent of one word. So
Oh, okay.
that's kind of the mapping that you can have in mind. I would say a blog post will cost you around 3,000 credits, 3 to 4 thousand
Okay. And you
credits.
give 10,000 free.
10,000 free, and
Okay.
you have ways to actually earn more credits by
Mm-hmm.
referring a friend, this and that.
Sure.
But yeah, that's basically it, which is a good head start. If you want to start your business, you can do lots with those 10 with that 10,000
Yeah, I think so. Like if you could make like maybe 3, 4, 5 blog posts and
and more products. Like blog
yeah,
post is the heaviest one, like
okay.
lots of words, but product description doesn't have that much words. So you
No,
can do
yeah.
like 4 or 5 products, create ads, and maybe 1 or 2 blog posts.
That's a really good way to get someone engaged in it, right? Because what, like one pricing thing that you see, it's like X amount like per month or like this, but like you're kind of like, hey, like we'll give you full access to all the features,
Yep.
and then at some point, once you run out of your credits, you have to start paying. So
Yeah,
that's
like
actually smart.
yeah, because the idea that the work that we are working to see how we can help store owners with is empowering. We want to make sure that we empower them. We don't want to just use their money or spend their money for something that is not useful for them. So we want to make sure we empower them.
And do you have paying customers yet?
We released the MVP 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
We started the ads for 3 days to test the market and the keyword search and all that. In 3 days, we had 950 people coming to the website.
In 3 days,
Yes,
900 people, 1,000 people.
and we didn't spend much. It's not like we spent less than 500 for that, and so that shows us everybody wants this. Like people wants this. It's the market is thirsty for this. Nobody's doing this because marketing tools are, to be honest, they're very very expensive. And it's expensive
Mm-hmm.
for no good reason. And with the AI and with like everything that is going on, this should be easy and easy to use. And I don't believe that ChatGPT is the answer. ChatGPT is the fundamental that we need, but they need empowerment. They need somebody to help and guide them, saying that these are the steps you need to take. After this, go generate this. So we are kind of a digital marketer in a digital format, not a person or a specialist or someone they need to hire. So
I think that's actually really smart. I'm serious. I'm not trying to pull your chain. Like me, if I've been thinking about starting the podcast. I have a couple other ideas, like maybe a movie or like throwing like a party to like raise money.
awesome.
And like I've thought about your like as a potential business person, right? I'm like, well, like I don't know the first thing about writing ads, or I don't want to learn that skill, or I don't want to pay someone to do that skill, right? And
Exactly.
that's I can see that being very useful.
So that's why, other than the tools, we are right now working. We have a team of 10 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was saying I'm working on this and this and this, because it's not just me. We're 10 people working on this. Um, at the same time, we are working on help pages and tutorials. We are giving like knowledge to everyone who wants to use these tools, and giving them the knowledge of how you should use the ad tool, how you should, like, what do you do after generating your ad, anything that they need to actually being able to do this.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool, my
So
friend. And
excited.
I heard through the grapevine, and we can edit this part out if you don't want it, but like you're raising money, or you have raised money, or you're on close to it.
As of last week, we shook hands on the first round of investment.
Can I ask how much? Or
No, it
okay,
is okay.
okay,
Not yet.
I understand.
Let the money come to the account.
I
And then I'll
okay,
share.
okay, very cool.
It's not done yet. So
Well, so then you'll be able to focus on this full time then?
right now, just being transparent, I was laid off from Shopify
Mm-hmm.
with the 20% 2 weeks ago.
I heard that.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, I guess now. So 20% was cut off from the company. Um, Kind of the whole department I was working in, the whole product line was laid off. And just the funny thing is this: we released the MVP at 12:01 May 4th,
Mm-hmm.
and I was laid off at 6 a.m. same day. So 6 hours after our MVP, I was laid off, and I couldn't take it any other way. It was a sign, like, I need to focus on this.
I think that's great, man. Like that sometimes getting laid off, it's actually like a good thing. It truly is. Like I came to Canada. One reason I came to Canada is because I found out my job had a finite timeline in the current location. I'm like, well, I can move.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and the company was nice to us, gave us like 4 months of pay, which is generous.
Oh, that's very generous.
That is generous, yeah. And I think that could be a good head start for us to actually help the Shopify store owners to actually do their thing. So I'm kind of promoting Shopify even more now. Now that I'm laid off, yes, go create a store. I'm gonna help with the marketing. So yeah.
I think that also shows that you still respect the company, right? Like
Oh, I
Shopify was
do.
a good company.
It is a good company. I really enjoyed my time there, to be honest. I've been in tech for, I guess, 12 years and a bit more than 12 years. And Shopify by far was my favorite, and it still is. So yeah, no
Very
hard
cool.
feelings.
Well, it kind of is your favorite because the startups are not favorite, right?
Oh yeah, that well, in terms of working for
I'm
other
splitting hairs
companies,
here, you know.
no, that's fair. Like in terms of working for others, I would definitely go work for them 10 more times.
So I'm looking at probably the next millionaire sitting across from me.
I don't know.
I don't know. It sounds like this has some
Well, it's a good start. I'm hopeful, all in this, and I'm planning to stay full time on this. And the investments are coming. It's a good start for a startup with the MVP release. 2 weeks after you get your first round, it's a good thing, and things look good.
how many engineers?
Five.
5. Okay.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And it sounds like too that you don't have any interest in actually developing the actual AI. Like you just want to solve the problem using AI.
Um, Not myself, but at some point, very soon, and to some level, we are doing it now. We need to fine tune the models. You're not supposed to like generate or train the whole model altogether yourself. It
Mm-hmm.
costs you like 20 million to train something like GPT-3.
Sure.
It actually costs it around that, I think. So you don't have to train your model, but fine tuning we have to do. We are doing it. And we need to fine tune the models as much as we should and we can to customize it for the need, for the niche that we are hoping, the problem that we are trying to solve.
So so you're making a third party call to GPT.
Yeah.
How do you fine tune the model? Like, because you don't have access to GPT.
But you have access to fine tune the model. So
Oh,
there are,
okay. I don't know enough. So
okay, so to explain, ChatGPT, and many may not know, the quality of what ChatGPT generates is not the full power of GPT.
okay.
The full power lays in the GPT itself, which working with it is a bit different. It's not a conversation. It's not in a conversational format. You can log in OpenAI, go to the playground, and then write your own prompts yourself. And it's not, as I said, like it's not a conversational thing. You put the prompt there, and you get one answer. That's it.
Yeah.
With So what we work with that, we don't work with the Chat GPT behind the scene.
Okay.
And GPT itself lets you fine tune the models. By that I mean you can upload a database of the key values
Oh, okay.
and actually fine tuning for your own purpose.
So you can upload your own data.
Yes.
Okay. See, I was not aware of this. So the chat part is just a layer on the GPT engine.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I say like ChatGPT is cool and all, but if you want to get serious about this, ChatGPT is not the answer you're looking for.
And then you pay a fee obviously to,
Yep.
to get access to that. Do they the data that you upload, does everyone get it, or is
No, it's private to
it's
your
private
account.
to you?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. So in essence, they're like a service for AI, right? And then you can fine tune the models according to your preferences.
Yes. So there are lots of different ways of fine tuning models for AI. Generally, they're. I'm not an AI expert, just disclaimer. But you can fine tune. You can use like techniques like transfer learning and like other models and other techniques to actually, in a way, fine tune to your own goods, to your own purpose. With GPT itself, there is a database you can upload and put the fine tuning information there. And whenever you get the answer, it looks into that database. It kind of fine tunes with that database and gives you the answer. Yes.
Okay, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans or thought about using like Google Bard or other not being solely reliant on one platform?
That's a very good question, because one of the things that kind of makes these third-party applications different from ChatGPT itself is we are not bound to use ChatGPT only. Like
Hmm.
any AI that comes out, and more are coming out every day. Um, if it helps us with the problem we are solving, yes, we need to use it. We are going to look into it, and yeah, that's the idea. We are hoping that more AI comes out, and we look into those. Leonardo was a kind of a new one, and it so far it looks more exciting than Midjourney. Midjourney is the best image generator that I know out there,
Hmm.
and Leonardo is actually not worse. So even if in some cases I've seen better results.
So, are you thinking about creating a like interface? So like you could just change your backend, when I mean interface, I'm talking like in your application code, like like you have a database layer that you'd have your layer for the AI, and then you could just switch the back end for the AI out, to whatever provider.
Yeah. So that's we have a service layer, and on that, getting technical.
I'm sorry if I'm too technical for people. Like, I apologize.
But yeah,
And
so
anybody, just put this a little closer to your face here.
oh
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
okay,
that's better.
okay, yeah. So definitely, we are designing our service layer in a way that we can actually switch services on the backend side. It's
Hmm.
kind of in an abstract layer, so we don't that layer doesn't care which service we're using. So switching is pretty easy. Yeah,
Okay. And what's your company's name called?
it's called Craftify AI.
Craftify.ai. I don't know. This sounds a little similar to Shopify, my friend.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
giving you a hard time.
No, actually, that's right. I know. I was thinking about how similar it is, but let me tell you the story why that name came up. I like crafting things.
Hmm.
I like 3D printing. I
Sure.
like to me everything is like crafting this, crafting that. Even
Yeah.
coding is crafting in a way for me. So I knew that we needed to use the name craft. It's
Okay.
crafting with AI. At the same time, there's a Spotify, there's Shopify, there's let's something fi out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like that name is kind of familiar to people. They understand that okay, we are craftifying stuff with AI. So Craftify AI. When you say that name, I'm hoping that people know what we are doing. So
I think it makes sense, and the name gives you the possibility of entering into other markets too.
yeah,
Like, have you thought about that at all? Like, if you build your solution right, you might
that's
be able to
ex-
tailor it to other industries or.
I'll be honest, like originally one of the names that we were thinking about was Do Right. We wanted to like name this Do Right AI, but we didn't want to like limit this by into writing, because
Okay, right,
eventually,
like WRIT.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I was thinking RIGTH.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
Do right. I mean, like writing,
yeah.
do
We're writing,
writing.
writing, right. Yeah.
So we didn't want to limit this to writing and textual content, because the goal is eventually you can craft whatever. You can craft your ad in a video format with AI generated music. So that's where I want to go.
Wow.
So
Like
yeah.
that. So like you're not now you're talking full blown like video content.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
100%. That's where we want anything that helps someone who owns a store to sell, to market their stuff. They know what they want to sell. They love what they want to sell. They spend all their time to understand what they want to sell. They shouldn't have all the pain that they're going through to understand how to sell it. They're not
Yeah.
supposed to be marketers. They're supposed to be great product
Sure.
selling professionals. So
And you're targeting small business.
yes, less than
Okay.
1 million GMV is our target. So whoever that is selling less than 1 million a year, say hello to us. We would love to work with you.
Or if you're interested, if you're making more than $1 million, like
Well, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
I know, but that's your audience.
I give you this cool stat. While I was working, while we were working on whose problem you're solving,
Mhm.
I looked into lots of numbers. And funny number that I would love, like it's interesting to mention is more than 85% of those who have online stores are selling less than 1 million. That's, I think, let it sink in.
85%
Yeah,
who
that's
have
a lot.
online stores are
Yeah.
selling less than 1 million.
It's a lot.
That's huge.
That's huge. Like that means that many people are failing, and the tools are designed to help those rich people who actually
Wow.
have the money to pay the digital marketers of the world, the expensive services out there, and many people don't have the money.
You know, I never thought of it like that. Like, but just the conglomeration of companies that sell, right? Like, you have tons and tons. You're right. Like, I'm just thinking about my own experience, right? Like, if I buy a computer part, you know, I might go to like Micro Center, or if I buy like you know, medical supplies, I might go to these really random places. But as far as like then you have these huge conglomerates like Amazon, Walmart, and like that's really what you think about. Like you think, oh, there's huge players, but there's a ton of these small businesses, you know, all these online, and I never thought of it like that before.
Yeah, and that's kind of why people have to go use Amazon or Etsy or other services um, that does the marketing for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. It's good that those services
Yeah.
exist, but if you want to have your own brand, you want to sell with, you want to own the data of who's selling, what is selling, you want to have more of the share of what you're selling, all of that. Well, you want to start your own Shopify store, WooCommerce store, or I don't know, BigCommerce, Magento, lots out there, and I will help you with the marketing.
And what percentage do you know off the top of your head? Like what does Amazon charge? You know, like if you want to list on their site, do you
I
know?
don't have it on top of my mind. I looked into it, but to be honest, like even selling in Amazon, even if the charge is not that much, they charge not that much, but you don't own your brand that much. So
Okay.
it's Amazon selling something. You don't know, like the last thing that you bought from Amazon. Let's say it's not a famous brand with a separate store and everything. Do you know the brand name?
Yeah.
Maybe not, right?
You're 100% right. Like when you go to Amazon, it's not like you have a brand page that's tailored to you. Like you feel like you're buying everything from Amazon. Like I'm buying from Amazon, and if you have a different seller in the background, you really don't care.
There is a dedicated online page in Amazon store that you can go and see the full stores page.
Yeah.
You don't go there like
no,
99% of the time, right?
I don't.
Yeah, so that's why we want people to own their brand. Like there should be many people out there sell their own stuff, and that's I think Shopify's mission as well, which I respect and love, because they want to empower people to sell online instead of like combining all the online sellers into one brand. So
yeah, you know, I respect that a lot because what's happening in the corporate world, you know, just across America, across Canada, across the world, it's everything is being consolidated, and like small business and medium-sized businesses, they, you know, like they've been the foundation of you know, our countries for forever, basically, right? And it's only the last short time that these huge conglomerates now control everything, and I'm definitely not for that. Like Amazon, AWS, Google, they do some really cool stuff. I mean, honestly, like you're using you know, ChatGPT, and it's doing some pretty amazing cool stuff, right? But you lose that independent small business, you know, people working for themselves that you know, I'm passionate about, right? Like this is what I'm trying to do now, is I'm trying to do my own thing and, you know, not work for somebody else and enjoy what I'm doing. And so I enjoy that you are enabling people to do that.
Yeah, that's fun, and I respect what you're doing as well for sure. It's fun doing what you like, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm at a point now when I don't want to sit at a desk anymore. Like I don't want to be in front of a computer. I want to talk to people. I want to learn more. And, I'm slightly envious of you in your position now where you're like, hey, like I got laid off. I got this company going. I'm doing my own thing. That's great. What I'm not envious for is the
Sitting,
software.
yeah,
Yes, the
sitting
side.
behind the
Yeah.
desk.
Yes.
Well, I still love, I have lots of love and energy for coding still, so I want to use my time to keep enjoying it.
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to play around with computers a lot more. Like I would create custom networks or like play games a lot more or just like explore like servers or like different products and things like that. I don't do any of that now. And
Mm.
if I it was like a hobby that turned into a job. And so like for me, like it's fun on the side, but it's not something like I'm not passionate about like creating software
No, yeah,
like some
I
folks.
get it. To be honest, like that's kind of the motivation of why I've been doing lots of other than coding stuff. Like in Iran, back in Iran, I started parkour as the first team that started parkour back in Iran. We were on cover of magazines. People from UK and US came to visit us. I have interviews with Associated Press, Reuters, and all
Hmm.
the other TV news companies. I don't know, TV news companies, I guess, out there, um, that they came and interviewed us for parkour. And then I did lots of photography. I started my own team with my friend. We did lots of photography and videography, and I was doing all these other stuff because just sitting behind your desk and coding could become super boring.
I think so. I like don't look at me wrong. Like I've and in my opinion, I guess I'm going to be a little like uh what would you self-grandizing potentially a little bit, but like when I want to be, I'm a great coder, right?
Mm.
Like I've written some pretty cool things in the past. Like nothing that is groundbreaking or like shattering, right? But like like I'm good at finding that that problem, like with that software. Like I really like refactoring stuff, like let's boost the performance here, like let's reduce our hosting costs by X amount and increase our performance by another 20%. I like doing that kind of stuff, and just really kind of tinkering on your own. Not really like I loved Elsevier, my previous company there, because I do whatever I want. Bro, like in the United States, the jobs I had, I just picked what I wanted to work on. Like I'm doing this, and like because I was producing, um, I just I did whatever I wanted, and so I had a lot of freedom, and like the problem solving aspect was cool because I'm just a natural problem solver. But I just don't like being at the computer, like staring at code. Like I want to interact with people.
No, I get that for sure. Yeah, that's totally understandable. I think lots of coders out there um, do other stuff than coding just
Hmm.
because they need it. Like they need the escape sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah, I find that you have pretty much two types of coders, right? You have your hardcore folks like Linus Torvalds, right? And like this guy, those people like they're they want to sit in front of the computer 24 hours a
Yeah.
day. Like there's a couple guys at my work now. They code, and then like they go home and they play games. Like they're like I'm playing a game here, or like or they go and they have their own side projects and they code all the time. And I'm like, dude, like I have mass respect for you, but that's not me. Like, no way.
No, I get it. Yeah, for sure.
And then you have the other coders that are like probably more like me or you, like you do it as your profession, but and you enjoy it, but you have other passions too.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I guess, yeah, I would fall into the second category for sure. But I've seen what you're saying. Like, I've seen people with uh, hoodies, like very dark rooms,
Yes.
just a screen, and
Yes.
coding 24/7 for sure.
And I think it makes sense because like you said you were a manager before, right? So
Yeah.
like you grew your role into management role, which probably is a sign that
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I, I shifted. So in my journey of like telling you about the journey of me doing coding, I started coding when I was 8. My
wow.
brother kind of forced me into coding. Like he said, oh, these are the 4 skills you need to learn, and coding was one of those. I had to learn piano, coding, sports, and English. So these 4 I had to start learning back in Iran. Um, and I didn't like it at first. I'll be honest, but after 2 3 years, I actually started enjoying it a lot more.
Mhm.
I was 20 or 21. I started to code part time and then full time eventually. And and what I can say is like, while I was coding, I realized that I like to work with people. I want to help others. I want to lead. I want to support others. So I started doing tech lead job. And while I was doing the tech
Yeah.
lead and unblocking others and helping others, solving more complex problems, I realized that no, I need to empower people. I need to help
Yeah.
support people. So I knew that I wanted to become a manager to help with the process of coding and teams and people and projects and all of that. So yeah, I became a manager and I still enjoy it. Like if I wanted to go back to work, I would go back as a software engineering manager again.
Mhm.
But to be honest, I didn't do that to escape from coding. I still code every day. I was coding every day while I was a manager as well. But I enjoyed the one-on-ones, the looking into the journey of people, how I can help them to grow in their career and all of that. So I enjoyed that. So yeah.
So at Craftify uh Craftify AI,
Yeah.
um do you do some of the more I won't call it, it's your startups. There's a lot of managed stuff to do, but do you do a lot of non-coding stuff too, or is it?
Yeah, I have to. Like, I would say I'm doing right now. Some weeks it's different, but most of the time it's 60% coding, 40% other stuff. So because of my experience, I'm handling ads,
Mm-hmm.
Google Ads, marketing efforts. I'm handling like legal and accounting, but in those areas, my brother helped a lot. He handles some of it all together. Like I don't touch them. um, and also anything related to like paperwork and working with a team, planning for the team. I do it with my brother, 2 of us together. So I would say 40% non-coding, 60% coding full time.
And was the idea yours?
Um, I don't look at the ideas that way.
Uh-huh.
I look at the ideas always in a combination of like a series of things happen
Mm-hmm.
and you come up with something, and that's something, no matter how big you think it is, becomes something else eventually, and
Yeah.
every week it changes. So
Yes.
I would say, yeah, kind of originally I was thinking about that because I was a digital marketer. I
Mm-hmm.
was seeing the pain in that world. I had an online store even before Shopify, 2 years before Shopify. I had an online store. I wanted to sell my wife's designs on prints. So I started this print on demand
Okay.
online store on Shopify, and I realized marketing is a pain.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I know marketing, I'm doing that, but it's a pain. And I realized we need to do something about it. But when it comes to ideas, I always think that, yeah, I could say initial idea was that. But as you work on it, as you know, in software, um, the more people you have in the team, they bring their own ideas, they bring their own energy, and it shapes the product itself. So they share what they have in mind, and it changes and changes and changes. And the main changes come from the users. Like they start interacting with your app and you realize, oh, this button is not clear, so we need to do it this way, so they would understand how to click on this. And they shape the product more and more. They come up with what they want, how they want it, and all of that. So I would say, yeah, initial idea is something, but the product itself, which is something that you're selling and working on, is a work of a team, including both team on the building side and using side.
I think that's really smart, open-minded perspective to have. I know, like in the past, that's something I've struggled with. Like, it has to be your own or your idea, or like I have to do it alone. Like, that's terrible. I've tried that before, um, but that collaboration really drives innovation, because you don't have all the ideas, right? Like even with the podcast stuff that I'm doing now, like I was talking to Farnoon and Barost, and we were at a comedy club, and we were chatting about stuff, and they're like, "Hey, did you know upstairs there's a room where you can throw parties?" I'm like, "Hey, like we should throw a party there." And then I'm like, I'm like, yes, this is a great idea, but why don't we try to use that to like raise money to film a movie?
Nice.
Because I was kind of thinking about like having uh doing like a woke, non-woke, politically incorrect movie.
Nice.
And like I don't know why, I just thought about that, right? And then like when I heard their idea of the party, I'm like, wait, maybe we can make this all work together, right? And similarly, I recorded the first podcast in February. I published it last week, which we're in May now, right? So like, how many months was that?
Yeah.
And the primary reason was
Editing?
was the editing.
Yeah, I
I,
get it.
I didn't want to sit down and edit that shit. Like,
Yeah.
I had zero desire. Like, I enjoy this. I don't want to be on the computer anymore. And so
That's a sign.
that's a sign, right?
You need to bring someone in, help you out.
And I asked the guy, and he didn't kind of get back to me. And then Farnood just reached out to me one day. He's like, "Bro, like, tell me about your podcast." And I'm like, like it's not going. Like, I have zero desire to do this. He's like, "I'll do it for you in 1 week, man." And he did. In 1 week, him and Barost didn't even tell me he was working on audio. He just did it.
Oh, he's a master.
Yeah.
Of the audio.
And so like my point with all that is like relying on others, or like listening to their ideas, or you can't do it alone. And so
yeah.
and so to you two, Farnood and Barost, I'm really grateful, because I feel like I have momentum now, right? And like, so I'm trying to do more of these now. So you're my second one. So
awesome. Excited. Yeah. I can see this becoming the next Joe Rogan.
I don't know. Like, I want to say yes, but I'm just trying to have fun, to be honest. Like I said, I want to enjoy what I'm doing. And so like when I was like, I told Farnood and Barost, like when we talk about different ideas, I'm like, in my opinion, I think as long as that we're having fun doing whatever we're doing, and if people who watch our content or attend our parties or do whatever do, if they're having fun, then we'll be profitable. We'll make money. And my goal isn't to become like a multimillionaire, right? Like if I can just support myself doing fun things, that's a win.
No, that's actually great. I really respect that. I think I totally that totally resonated with me, because whenever I started it, like photography, the first day I started it, I didn't start to make money out of it. I started because I wanted to do something fun.
Yeah.
I liked taking photos. I enjoyed watching, like viewing photos and all of that, and watching documentaries about photography, all that. So I started it, right? But 2 years after, I started earning some money out of it.
Yeah.
So I would say, and this is the same pattern almost for everything I've done in my life. Like, it started as a hobby, as something I enjoyed, and eventually it became a source of income as well, to pay at least for its own costs.
Yeah,
so
sure.
what I would say is, like, from my experience, you should just focus on what you like, what you love to do. The rest will like happen. You don't need to focus on anything else. Now, even this Craftify thing, like, even if it doesn't have any users, I would love to get data from users. I would love to optimize for users, but I'm using it. Like, I want to use it for my own purposes, to sell my own stuff. If I cannot use it,
that is cool.
then who else is going to use it, right? So I'm using it I started actually using it 2 weeks ago to sell stuff online. I just want to know if it is working.
So what are you selling?
So there are two things. There are two stores I'm working on. One is it's to sell saffron. Saffron is a
Yeah.
big thing back in Iran. It's not a big thing in North America.
It's a spice, right?
It's a spice, and it's famous for being expensive, though it's not that expensive, but it is expensive.
I've heard of it. I'm sure I've had it. It's in Persian food a lot, right?
Yeah.
So like, what's that flavor of saffron that like? Describe, if I'm eating a Persian dish, how do I know that has saffron in it?
Oh, that's hard. I need to have better English to describe it precisely. But I would say, well, the color of saffron, I'm guessing you have in mind, is something like ruby red, like dark red-ish, the color.
I'm pretty dumb when it comes to the saffron
Oh,
stuff.
okay. So the color, basically it's the color is dark red. It looks like tea, let's say.
Okay, so it's a dark red tea, like like flakes, like
yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. Imagine, and I'm very bad at this, I know. But yeah, so
is it that red pepper that like
you need to grind it.
Yes.
And use it like with a pepper shaker
okay,
or something like that.
Yeah. Like
So-
I love that because I go to Persian restaurants and then I'll get the rice and then I'll get like the vazuri and then
okay. So that one you're talking about is somab, which
So-
is something else.
okay.
I know what you're saying. That's sour.
Yeah.
That's something else.
Okay.
Yeah. So saffron is something else entirely.
Okay.
Anyways, so it's good for your health. It makes you happier. I promise you I'll learn more English words when it comes to describing it because I need to do it in the website. So yeah.
Okay. And you know what? Your tool can help you.
Yes, it is. It is today. So I'm writing the product description pages with that. I'm writing the ads with that. I haven't kicked off the ads yet.
And so you're selling, I'm sorry, saffron?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we know people from Farnode as well, and from another friend. We know people back in Iran who have farms to actually sell saffron. We are buying directly from them to sell it in North America and kind of introduce it because many people don't know exactly why it is good for you or what it does and how you can use it and all that.
And where are you growing it?
We're not growing it here. We're buying directly from the farmers back in Iran, bringing it in here and selling here.
Okay, very cool.
So yeah.
So you're like a distributor, kind of like.
Yeah, in a way, and kind of marketing the usages and why you should buy it. Like it's something that everybody, like all Persian families, have saffron in their homes. Not because all Persians are rich, because it's not that expensive. Like when you want to buy a small amount and you want to use it, you should use it in small amounts.
I see.
And it has lots of color and flavor. So just a small amount does the work. And yeah.
And so, like, do you just ship it to yourself, like, or?
There are friends and family always coming and going.
I see.
And yeah, and it's pretty light. And because of the amount that you actually sell, 1 kilogram of saffron is like a lot more than what I'm gonna sell in the next year.
Is it like a kilo of like cocaine? Like, is it?
It is like a kilo of cocaine.
Really? Like,
yeah, it is expensive.
Okay. Wow.
So that's why the name of the brand is Ruby Ounce, because kind of an ounce of ruby is equivalent of an ounce of saffron in price wise, something like that. So,
okay, interesting.
So, yeah.
I'm learning here. This is cool.
yeah, I think turmeric was found in North America in a way. Like people know it, people like it, know why it exists.
Yeah.
Same thing should happen for saffron. Saffron is as good, if not better.
Cool. So like I'll have to try this in my own cooking.
I'll make you saffron tea and a few saffron related stuff.
All right, related stuff. I don't know what
I can think of multiple.
Okay.
So,
You know, when you said stuff, I'm like, this almost sounds like some illegal stuff. You know, like.
Well, you don't want to sniff it, so
you don't want to sniff
you're fine.
What would happen if you sniff saffron? That would be an interesting experiment.
I haven't tried that, so. Yeah.
I will film you if you want. On the podcast, we can have like.
No thanks. I'm focusing on
Arman
for now. Yeah.
I'll be calling the ambulance. So he sniffed Saffron.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Very
Yeah.
cool, man. And what's the other thing that you're selling on there?
So the other one is kind of a drop shipping business. I'm doing it with my one of my friends. We've been working on it from before. It's basically drop shipping on health and beauty stuff. Nothing too specific, but
Educate me on the term drop shipping. I've heard it.
oh, okay, that's a
I've
fun
heard
topic.
this, but I don't know.
Okay, it's a fun topic. I think it became a thing like way back, like I guess 2015-ish, but
Mhm.
it became an actual thing when COVID hit.
Okay.
It became like more trendy, like because e-commerce became a thing more than before, a lot more than before. So drop shipping basically is you don't have the money to buy your inventory and you don't have the money to keep it somewhere, and you're not producing anything.
Okay.
Basically, you want to pick the right um, producers, the right products, and you want to market them yourself. So you're basically a marketing person for a product.
Okay.
So the products are in mostly China. Most most drop shippers use AliExpress to do drop shipping. Basically, the product is in the AliExpress. You kind of connect the AliExpress store's product to your Shopify store, and whenever somebody buys something from your Shopify store, the order goes directly to AliExpress and directly to their place without you keeping the inventory. So
Okay. So like if if I'm a person in China and like I'm just gonna say I'm selling saffron, I know that they like
dude, no. I forgive you.
yeah you forgot. Hey guys, I know that
Yeah,
yeah
it's fine.
I know. But if I'm selling saffron in
know.
China and I'm a person and you're on the front end and you're creating the website and you're marketing it, you're saying that like what the drop shipping is that when they order through your website, the order goes directly to me
Yep.
through a couple entities, right? It gets to me and then they ship directly to the person.
Kind of, yes. The only part that is kind of different is the order goes directly to the person in the middle. The person in the middle press a button and then the order goes to you without doing anything. They don't place the
Okay,
order manually because
I
of all
see.
the tools in the middle, but they press a button saying that, yeah, ship this order, and the address will come to you, the order will come to you, and you will ship directly to that person.
And the person in the middle, they have the inventory.
They don't have any inventory.
Oh,
Only people
okay.
in China have the
Oh,
inventory, or
okay.
whoever that is
Okay.
selling it.
Okay.
That's why drop shipping is something, because it's for those who don't want to do the inventory part. They want to skip that part. They want
Yes,
to skip the shipping part,
I
and they
see.
just want to do the marketing and
Okay.
selling part.
I got you. So the flow would be, I'm going to say this again just because so
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
understand. So the flow would be you're in the front end, you have a website and then you sell
You
to a
pay for the
customer.
ads. You
Yeah.
market it. You work with influencers and all that. Okay.
You get someone to purchase. That person or that purchase goes to a person in the middle.
Yeah.
And then that person then would forward the order to the person who has the merchandise.
Yes.
And then
it ships directly.
that ships directly.
Yep.
Okay. I got it now.
Yeah. So drop shipping is a thing now more than ever, and the downside is drop shipping started as a good thing and eventually became like a famous word for selling shitty stuff to people,
Ah.
because it can get shitty.
Sure, yeah, like
And but not all of them are shitty. Like more than you know, the stuff that you've bought over actually drop shipping a store.
okay. Does like Amazon get involved in any of the drop shipping or stuff
Yeah,
like
so
that?
lots of stores, lots of dropshippers add their products in Amazon
Okay.
directly. Lots of actually AliExpress owners create the stores there as well.
Okay.
And yeah, lots of dropshipping businesses in Amazon. It's a better way because it kind of removes the question of is this product good or not. You see it's on Amazon. You see it has a Prime, so you think you trust it, you buy it, right?
So does that I'm not familiar. Does Amazon filter who can sell? Like
Lots of filters you need to pass, but eventually when you start selling more and more, you can send the inventory in bulk and
mhm.
send it to Amazon
Okay.
warehouses, and then you get a Prime label, and Amazon ships it quickly. And
Okay.
yeah, but it's still a drop shipping business.
Okay. Interesting. I'm drop shipping. I can now be educated. When I talk to people, like I can talk about drop shipping.
Yeah. Overall, e-commerce and online selling is interesting to me. So feel free to ask questions.
Yes, I don't know what other questions to ask, unfortunately.
Oh, all good. Yeah, but lots are changing in the e-commerce world. By 2020, 2035, I
Mm-hmm.
think I saw in one of the stats, and there's another one by 2028. The numbers doesn't matter that much, but the number of people selling online will actually be a lot more than people who are selling in retail and physical stores, and it's growing. Like,
Yeah. The brick and mortar stores are dying.
yeah.
They are. I know that. You know, when you're talking about all this stuff, I had another crazy idea as I was like sitting here, like I do. And I'm not saying it's a good idea, but like you were talking about like your currently use advertising and like AI and all the stuff on the seller side, right? And I'm like, what I need is an AI on the buyer side to just buy all the shit that I need, and I don't have to think about it.
That's a beautiful idea for sure, and that's something that maybe you can start
Yes.
working on it.
And you know what I can do? I can make that product, and then our products can have sex, and then they, and then we can just sell to each other, and we can just make babies. You know?
What are the babies though? That's my question. Like, what the babies do?
What is
The parents, one is selling, one is buying. What does the baby do?
makes more products?
Okay, so
I don't know.
shit's products, I guess. Okay.
Shit's product.
Okay.
I didn't think about the sex analogy far enough to like know where we were going.
Yeah, that's the challenge. Whenever you think about the sex, think about the baby, and that part's
Yes.
the complicated part.
You know, speaking of sex, like when it's when I was when I got married, I didn't realize like the expectation, like because when you're young and like there's sex culture and all this stuff, like it never linked in my head that like sex kind of equates to like a baby, right? But like when you get married, like that link kind of, you're like, oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah, I would say that's a bit too late to understand that.
Yes.
But
You know, I'm a smart guy, but in a lot of ways, you know, I have some ADHD, some autistic perhaps qualities about my personality where I don't pick up on some of that stuff until it's a little too late.
yeah, I guess happens to the best of us.
Armin's like, this conversation took a weird ass turn.
Yeah, from AI and marketing to yeah, interesting.
To the how would I articulate that? The cultural I'm trying to think of how to articulate this. You know,
Yeah.
the culture revolution of sex. I don't know, like something around this.
Yeah, for sure.
So what else is going on in your life, bro? Like
Yeah, honestly, like these days are super weird and interesting because of the situation I'm in. Like after it was my first time being laid off,
Mhm.
and some part of it is scary. You don't know, like you're
Yeah.
paying mortgages are going higher and higher every day in Vancouver and North Van, as you know, like in both, like in Canada, and it's getting scary. But at the same time, I'm very hopeful. So I guess yeah, it's life, like always. It's lots of hope and fear.
I knowing you, I know you'll be just fine. But I understand it can be scary, like for sure. You were talking about mortgages. This is something I have to talk about because I don't understand this, right? I come from USA, and guess what we have in USA? 30-year fixed mortgages.
Which makes sense to me.
It makes sense. You know, you have a payment. It's not going to go up. It's not going to go down. And like my first mortgage was like 2014, and my rate was less than 3%. It was like 2.8 or like between that 2.5 and 3% rate. for 30 years. And then I come to Canada, and then people are like stressed out. Like they're like the mortgage, like I got a 5-year, I got a 10-year fixed rate. And I'm like, why don't you just do the whole mortgage cycle, like the whole lifetime, 30-year fixed? And then people are like, dude, we don't have that here.
Yeah, it's crazy for sure. I have two mortgages, and one is fixed, one is not. And the
But
one is
fixed, how long is it fixed for?
5 years, of course. And
5 years.
crazy, yeah. And
And then
even
it goes to variable.
yeah, and even the variable one, it's getting crazier and crazier every day. So yeah, I'm paying in total, I'm paying around, I guess, 1,500 to 20,000 more every month because of the increases of
Fifth,
1,500.
you said 15,000.
Oh, no.
I was like,
Oh, shit.
holy
No.
shit, man! Like,
No.
holy shit! I'm like,
No.
you're a rich bitch, and
No,
you're
I'm not
and,
rich
and you're
bitch.
and you're crying. You're like, my mortgage is $15,000 a month, and I just got laid off, and I just don't know.
No, not rich.
But it increased by 1,500.
Yes,
That's insane.
it is.
My ex was talking that she hit her trigger rate. Do you know what the trigger rate that term is? Trigger rate is when your mortgage rate increases to the point that your monthly payment no longer covers the cost of like
shit.
so then they have to, just to make interest payments, just to make interest, you have to start paying more money. So
Oh,
so what I'm trying to say is I'm gonna use easy numbers here. Let's say that your mortgage payment is $1,000 a month, right? Typically, this is like, depending where you are in your mortgage, out of that $1,000, maybe $500 goes towards the principal,
yeah,
and the 500 is just paid towards interest, right?
yeah.
And then she got to a point when her interest rate got so high that she was paying $1,000. Every penny of the month that she was putting in was going directly only on interest. No coverage or no principal pay down. And then she had to start paying more just to make interest.
That's crazy.
That's Canada, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
It's getting crazy, I guess. These days, like, everybody's complaining about this, and I guess sometimes I'm too busy with doing my own stuff.
yeah.
But when I'm not heads down, I look at the numbers. I don't believe them. It's like like 2 weeks pass, and the numbers have jumped so much. You don't believe it's been 2 weeks.
You know, when you go to like the grocery store, I like
Everything has changed.
I'm just in shock.
Yeah.
Like every time I go, I'm paying like $50 at least for you know, I live downtown. I walk everywhere, so I can't carry a lot, right? Like, so like I might have a bag, maybe two, and like I'm paying $50 every time. Like, I remember I used to go to the grocery in Ohio, and for a whole week, one whole week, two people, including toiletries, including toothpaste, including food, for a whole week. You know, like if we were splurging, it'd be like $250, $300 for a whole week. And you know, like I'm going like every couple of days at least, you know, and I'm paying a minimum $50 like every 2 days. And I'm like, what is this? You know, for one person.
No, it's crazy for sure. It's getting worse. I don't know. Like we moved. We came from Iran to here for all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And all the bad stuff is happening. We are used to this. Like it's not a shock to us as those who are immigrants, because it was happening. Like, tell you what. So, funny story. I came to Canada around 6 years ago, and when I came here, the let's say a coffee that I could buy with 10K tomans, like uh, Iranian money. Now it's around 12, 13 times more after 6 years. So just think about all the price increases. 13 times more in 6 years.
In Iran.
Yep.
That's
So
that's crazy.
it is crazy. So we've seen this, like we are used to this, but we didn't expect it to happen here.
It's happening here. It's not that stark, right? But
Oh
like,
yeah,
what was it last year on average? Like I'm just remembering out of my butt, so don't hold me to this, but it was like 10%. Like which is insane. It means your money is worth 10% less than it was last year. Like stock market wise, like if you're making 10%, like that's pretty good. And so basically, if you're having really good returns on the stock market, 10%,
mm,
you're just zero, bro.
yeah,
You're zero.
yeah, and it's crazy. I don't know what, like at some point there should be a solution because I cannot imagine how life is changing for many people, right? So what is the plan? I keep asking.
I think about this a lot because I'm in a really good situation. Like I can't complain at all. I have a really good paying job. I have a lot of savings, and when the prices increase for me, it's like, oh, it's not a big deal. Like I just look at the bank, every month, and I just adjust here and there, and everything's fine, right? I just, like I guess I can't go to the bar this week, like I can't buy the steak every day anymore. This is my complaint. I used to get the steak every single night. Now I have to get the steak and the burger. This is ridiculous. But for a lot of folks, it's their livelihood.
Yeah.
Like if you're making not like particularly in the U.S. like because Canada has pretty high minimum wage, but if you're in the U.S. like I think in Ohio like it's like $10, maybe less minimum wage. Like when I was growing up, 2005 6 minimum wage was 7.25
Hmm.
to 7. So think about that, and then like so I recognize for people in today's world how difficult it is for them, right? Like if you have a family of 4 and you're trying to feed them, and then the people in government, oh, it's not that big a deal. They're playing word games, they're playing financial games. They don't care, and it really makes me think how there's a lot of people in the world right now who are hurting,
Hmm.
and it makes me mad when you go on all the social media and all of the uh, normal media, the traditional media, and they just pretend like it's not a big deal, or they're just playing games. I think it's terrible.
It is. Yeah, it is. And I think there should be a solution. There must be a solution soon because I'm guessing foreclosure is happening for many.
For sure it is, right? For sure it is. It's something that I I've heard. I don't know who I've heard, but I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I've heard people say that there's one guy, I wish I remembered his name. He was talking about that he thinks this might be the last election cycle of of the broken system, the old.
Hmm.
So he was theorizing like in the States. You look at the people in Congress, how old they are, and you look at all these broken policies and all this corruption, and that after this the 2024 election, that he was hypothesizing that the next cycle, it's going to be the first cycle of the new era of
Hmm.
breaking down the old ways. All those people are going to get old and die. The Nancy Pelosi's and all those people will be get out of office. And that it will hopefully bring a new era of people who maybe actually do care about making a difference rather than lining their pockets.
Oh yeah. I'm hoping for that. Yeah. Let's see.
Yes. At the same time, I am uh, I I used to fall in this trap, right? Like I won't say trap, but it was a line of thinking, and that like life's hard, like it shouldn't be this hard, like it should be easy, and that the government should take care of people, or just the general idea that we should do everything in our power to make life as easy as it is for people. And I think there's a lot of merit to that, but at the same time, life is hard, right? And it's a lot of personal responsibility.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying like everyone can remove themselves or like bootstrap themselves from a terrible situation. That's not what I'm saying. But like for me personally, I recognize I can't rely on the government for really anything, right? Like healthcare in Canada and in the U.S. is broken. Okay, in Canada, like I tore a ligament in my leg.
Oh.
So it's starting to heal now, bro. Which is good, but waiting on an MRI for over a month now.
It's gonna heal before you get the MRI.
100%. And if it heals bad, I'm screwed.
Yeah, I don't know. Like again, speaking of comparing stuff with back in Iran, I'm sure you've heard this already, but things are way different in Iran. Like healthcare system is totally different. You almost don't pay for medicine.
Mm-hmm.
You don't pay much for doctors. It's very, very cheap. And you can get appointment from super end of the specialist a week from today, whenever you call them.
Mm-hmm.
From a generic, like I don't know, like a family doctor to any specialist,
Yeah.
to the best specialist in town.
Mm-hmm.
The latest that you can get an appointment is a month for that specialist, but for a doctor you just want to visit, you can go and walk in, you get the appointment like in an hour.
And what's the quality of care?
It is great. My father was diagnosed with cancer, and he did the surgery, he did everything, $0
Mm-hmm.
and zero Persian dollars.
And how long did he have to wait?
Nothing.
No time.
No time. So he visited his doctor, let's say the first week.
Family doctor.
We don't have family doctors
Okay.
back in Iran in a term that we have here. You go to a doctor that you
like a clinic.
Yeah, there are doctors. You can go to any of them you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can visit as many as you want.
Sure.
They all visit you. They don't say you're not my patient.
Mm-hmm.
And they give you their diagnosis. They say you need to go to a specialist. You can also go to the specialist directly.
Okay.
You don't need anyone to refer
you. Don't need a referral, yeah.
No.
Dude, here referrals take forever. Another story. This is true. Is I had a stomach infection for years, and I didn't know what was going on. And so when I say years, I had it even in the U.S. Like, and I've been in Canada for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So I got a family doctor here. Told him I was having all this pain and stuff. He's like, okay, we're going to recommend you to a what's it called? A stomach specialist, right? I waited, bro, 2 years. 2 years.
Oh, shit.
In the meantime, I see a naturopath, right? And they found out I have a SIBO infection. Okay. And so I'm getting medicated for this. And then 2 years later, this guy calls me and he's like, hi, I'm sorry. You know, he did the Canadian story. I'm sorry, but we're just getting to you. And his first question was, so are you still having problems? Because he recognized 2 years. And I was like, I already got help, bro. Thanks.
No, it's unbelievable, to be honest. I don't get it. Like, I don't know what I prefer. I don't know if it is good if we say pay, or like, I don't know what's the best solution.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert there, but I think if I had the option to pay to visit a doctor, also have whatever that it is right now, could be something that is better. Like if it's emergency and we don't have enough doctors, I want to pay or do something about it to take care of myself or my family. So I don't know what is going on with the healthcare system here. I don't get it, to be honest.
I agree. And because I've experienced both healthcare systems. I've experienced it in Canada and in the US. Uh, so one nice thing about the US is you can be seen very quickly. Like
Mm.
if you have a family doctor, like I used to call my family doctor up and like I could see him same day. You get recommended to a specialist. I can see the specialist, within, a week, maybe two,
Dude, that's what I want.
if it's
Please.
busy, maybe a month. Um, but you have to have good insurance for that, right? Like they'll accept your money if you pay.
Mm-hmm.
So one benefit to the American system is if you have money, you will get seen and you can get some of the best healthcare in the world if you have money. But there's a lot of people that don't have money and they don't get healthcare, and that's broken. Another thing that's broken in the U.S. is it's more, I would call it symptom-based treatment, and I haven't had enough problems in Canada to know, but I feel like this problem's very similar in like Western medicine. Is rather than focus on getting you healthy, they focus on, oh, you're having a stomach problem, take this pill. Oh, or we'll do this surgery and we'll remove your gallbladder, because I had that done too. And rather than being like, maybe let's figure out what's causing your issues, like, okay, like what's your diet like, like all this diabetes problems. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy for sure. I don't know. Like, I think at least in Canada, you should be able to pay to get get the right help. That's the least that should happen. More should happen, but that's the least that should happen. For my friends who want to come here to Canada, they ask me like, what is not good, what is good there? And the only two things that I say that I don't like it here is the first, healthcare system. And second is losing friends. Is to be honest, losing friends
You
is
mean
a bigger hit.
friends in Iran?
Yeah,
Yeah,
losing friends and family is a bigger hit than what people think. They think it's just family, but losing friends and family,
Oh, that's tough.
it is tougher than what people think when they want to do it, like any immigration or moving at least from Iran to here. But yeah, healthcare system is the worst thing here. I cannot think of anything worse than this.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I know for myself, I walk in and I have very little trust. I have a lot of distrust in the medical professionals. I also did in the US too, based on what I described before. But like, I just, at least one thing I saw in the US was like, if like they have some of the best doctors in the world, like if they figure out what's really going on, like you can get the best treatment in the world. You go to Cleveland Clinic, you get some of the best treatment you can get in the whole world. And people come from all over the world. People come from all over the world to get treated in the US. That doesn't happen in Canada.
That's
Like
a sign, I guess.
like, yeah. What, like, do you hear many stories about people being like, hey, like, I flew from Africa to get, my heart surgery in Canada? No, but you hear that in the US all the time.
Yeah, I guess US is more inclusive when it comes to healthcare system than Canada.
It's inclusive as far as the dollar. If you have the almighty dollar, you'll get seen.
Yeah.
And in Canada, it's inclusive as in everyone gets it, but we all get the same shit.
Yeah.
You talked about that private care stuff. I saw an article where like the federal government. I'm not sure, what do they call the federal government here? Is it the federal government in
Fellow
Canada?
government?
The federal.
Oh, federal government?
Is it called federal in
Yeah,
Canada?
yeah.
Yeah. So like the federal government was pressuring provinces to say, we are seeing an increased number of private healthcare practitioners, and you need to correct this or there will be consequences. And it goes the exact opposite of what you're saying, bro.
Don't do this.
Don't do this.
You don't
No.
need the good service.
No, and it's terrible because like it is terrible, bro. Like I'll give you a true story. Like I was pretty upset, like because it also shows there's just like a lack of general caring. Is I told you that I tore a ligament in my leg, right? Well, I didn't know what was going on, so they first gave me an ultrasound.
Mm-hmm.
And before they gave me the ultrasound, I back up a step, is they gave me a test to check if I had a blood clot.
Okay.
Okay. And so, one, rather than, so they gave me a test to test the blood clot. The blood clot test cannot rule out a blood clot. It just gives you a probability. So like, it's something like, I forget what the numbers are, but if it's like 500 or higher, then you have a high probability of a blood clot, but it doesn't mean you have a blood clot.
Okay.
If you have lower, then that doesn't count, right? So first thing is they do this test rather than just give you an ultrasound, and an ultrasound can tell you if you have a blood clot. Okay, so like and an ultrasound just tells you yes or no, you have a blood clot, because they can go in and look.
What did they do? Why did they do the blood clot thing?
Oh,
did they have to do that test?
So
the second one you're saying tells the whole story.
So the second one tells the whole story, but because I'm low risk, they said, oh, the first test is enough. So basically what they're saying is, you're in a low enough risk category that we can give you this first test, and we're pretty much feel pretty comfortable that you're okay. But if you look at the test, you know, like I understand the first test is cheaper and it's faster, but an MRI is not, or a ultrasound is not a very complicated thing to do, and it's not horribly expensive when you have a healthcare system like Canada. So I did the first test. I score 490 out of 500. And the doctor's like, well, this is a little high, a little more not comfortable with, so let's go ahead and do the ultrasound. So then I'm in there and I'm doing the ultrasound, and they're going all over my leg. And then the technician's going, oh no. Then she's says, I found something, you know? And then, so turns out after talking with her, because she found a 10 centimeter tear in my leg, right?
Oh, shoot.
You know, and then they found a very, very, very tiny superficial blood clot. So the dangerous ones are called a DVT, and those are on the inside, right? But on the outside, you know, probably the blood clot was caused because, you know, my ligament tore, right? And it probably just like messed things up. Well, they didn't explain any of this to me. They just said, oh, you have a problem. But it's 9:30 and we're closing soon, and the doctor on duty doesn't have time to look at you. So we recommend that you go to the emergency room. And the doctor, like, is in there, and like the nurse practitioner and the lady who did the scan, right, are both talking to the doctor. I can hear them, and the doctor's like, "No, I don't have time." And like, he can go to the emergency room. Like,
damn it.
Yeah, and so like at this point, I'm paranoid, right? Because I don't know what's going on. Like, they tell me I have a minor blood clot. They're not willing to do anything. So then the story gets worse. So then I go to the emergency room, right? And I wait, dude, like 2-3 hours, you know, so my night's wrecked, you know, like it's like midnight. I'm in the emergency room, and you know who I'm with? I'm with all the people from East Hastings, you know, 90% of the people in there are like addicted to drugs. And so I'm waiting with these people, and then the doctor's so busy. He comes out and he's like, well, we don't have your scan because it takes time for the system at the, you know, to give us your results. He's like, so we don't know. I don't know exactly what the problem is. So what you need to do is you need to take this prescription for blood thinners, and you're going to take blood thinners, you know, in case it's a blood clot, and goodbye. Like that's literally what we said is here's a prescription and buy. They didn't really talk to me anything more, because they didn't have any results. They could have done another scan there because they have equipment in the emergency room to do it. They opted not to. So then I start taking like you read all the side effects from blood thinners. It's terrible, bro. It's terrible. So I go pay $200 to get the blood thinner. I take one pill in the morning because it took that long to like get the prescription for various reasons. And so I take one pill of the blood thinner and I'm feeling terrible at this point, right? I'm like, I got a blood clot. I'm getting old. My life, like I need to start changing some stuff. Like all this thoughts, like my life is deteriorating, spiraling down, right? Then the my family doctor, the nurse practitioner calls me and he's like, oh, so we got your results. So he calls me at 4 p.m. the next day, right? So he waits the whole day, right? So I'm thinking all this because he's like, okay, we got your results and you do have a blood clot, but it's very superficial. It's not a big deal. So you can go ahead and stop taking the blood thinners. You don't need to do anything and we'll order you an MRI.
And the $200 is gone.
The 200,
all the stress.
And then I'm still waiting on the MRI. I'm still waiting on the MRI, and
you don't still have your final result of what the hell is going on with me.
No, dude. I was so angry because I was like, I took this freaking like blood thinner killer pill, you know what I mean? And I already have like low blood pressure and stuff. So like, it's not good for me to take that stuff. And, anyway, it ended up being this very small thing, but like that journey.
Unbelievable. Are you planning to head back to US any second?
So this is something I actually struggle with is, it goes to your point earlier, which is that I've started to make a life in Vancouver. So I like even like just small things, right? Like yesterday I was just walking out and I saw two people. Like I didn't have any Friday night plans. I didn't call anybody. Like everyone was busy, and I'm just walking Mika, my dog, out, and we go for a walk, and I see two people, and I have both of them. I have an hour conversation with both of them, right? Mm-hmm. And so you start to make friends and you start to make roots here, right? At the same time, like you, Asan, like all these people, Menelaus, Carla, she's another one of my good friends. So I just see people, right? And it's hard for me, right? Because I make these friends. At the same time, I recognize like how I know Menelaus is moving. Yeah. How many, like most people in Vancouver, they don't stay in Vancouver for a long time. Like, yeah. At least particularly like downtown, people move. It's a very transient place. So I recognize I might be holding on to a short-lived thing, right? But at the same time, I enjoy here. For like me, like why, like I don't have much family back in Ohio, right? Like I lost my father, my sister when for me, I was young. I was like 18 and like 20 at the time, like when that stuff happened. And then I lost like my entire dad's side of the family, like his brother, his sister, my grandma and my grandpa, they all died too, so I don't have like I have my mom and I love my mom, right? But I don't have a huge amount of ties to Ohio. Like I have some extended family and like they're great, but I just don't have. So for me, I'm in this weird situation, right? And in the back of my head, like I have these things like, well, like if I do have a child, I want them to be raised, like to have really good opportunities, but Vancouver is beautiful too.
Yeah, it's a challenging decision for sure.
It is,
Can imagine.
in the winter, like to be honest, I'm like Vancouver sucks. I want to get the heck out of here. And then as soon as the summer comes, like oh, it's not so bad.
It's worth the wait.
It's worth the wait.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I like the weather here overall.
Do you like living in Vancouver?
I love it. Yeah. Well, I haven't been in many countries. I've seen a few. Turkey, Istanbul, to be precise. I've been in Cyprus as well. I've seen a few cities. Been in there for a few months, but between all my previous experiences, Vancouver has been the best. And I think Vancouver is good to have your base here, but it's very
Yes.
nice to travel around the world and like live in different countries for a year or two, and experience basically.
I was debating something like this, like living in somewhere else, like in the U.S. In the winter, and then coming back, and
That
having
makes sense.
some summers. Because for people who don't know, the summer in Vancouver is fantastic because it's sunny, but it's not too hot, and it's very low humidity, right?
Hmm.
So it's between like 30 generally, like between the upper 20s and the mid 30s, on average, which is great. Like yeah, there's sometimes it gets super super hot, but generally it's around that time.
And there's lots you can do. I think like if you enjoy like water
Mm-hmm.
related activities or hiking or anything like that. Like I think the the diversity of all the fun that you can have in the city is more than many others, I'm guessing.
And then I was also talking to a guy last night. His name is CMAC, and he was saying that if you think about it, where in the world can you live so close to the beach for so cheap, and yet you're middle of downtown? Like there that doesn't really exist. In a lot of other places where you for such affordable, uh, being so close to the beach in a high rise, in the middle of downtown, but still having like the mountains, like
Yeah, the
it's a
combination is
yeah.
unique for sure. Yeah, I visited Toronto a few months back, while I was working at Shopify for a business meeting, and honestly, like yeah, I like the downtown. I like the buildings. I like the all the crowd, like everyone there. But I couldn't imagine living in that city for a long time because I would miss the mountains. I would miss the sea. I would miss the all the activities
And
that I could do here.
Toronto is very close to the climate in Ohio because it's
Mhm.
just north, right? So it's like maybe like 4 or 5 hours, before you like maybe less to get into the actual states. So like from like my area, I'm just guessing here. I've never done the math. It might be like 10 hours, to get to Toronto. It's probably less. It's probably like 8 hours. I'll guess or so. And so it's that very similar climate. No mountains. Very dry in the winter. Very humid and hot in the summer. Um, and then, did you go in the winter at all?
Yes, I was snowing.
Do you know how it's just kind of gray? Like it's a different gray here, right?
Yeah.
The Vancouver gray, you have like some colors in the gray. Like it's like a dark clouds and like
Yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah, I see
yeah.
what you're saying.
And in Ohio, it's just a sheet of gray. And it can last like a week, just a sheet of gray. But at the same time, it doesn't rain for
Yeah, yeah. I can imagine the same weather in Toronto. I think it's similar.
yeah.
I don't hate the rain. If it doesn't rain for a few days, I definitely miss it.
Okay.
But I do like the sun. I was born in a city that was mostly sunny. Um, the weather is pretty like even here. It doesn't get as cold as Tehran. Most year, like in the past 6 years, I haven't seen like it's not that cold, um, and it's not that hot.
Hey man, give me 1 second. I'm sorry, my
Okay.
my dog over here. Mika, come here. Let me get her. Sorry, bro.
Oh, good.
I have to be a good dog owner, you know. You were
Yeah,
talking about
Mika.
Toronto, so I want to finish this.
We can wrap it up as well. So
All right, do you want to wrap it up?
yeah.
Yeah, like so for folks who don't know, this is Mika. This is my dog. Say hi, Mika. Say hi.
Mika is the nicest.
But we'll finish up. But just finish what you were saying about Tehran and the. Uh,
Yeah. Overall, I was saying what I was saying. Um,
you were talking about the sun and the
oh
temperature.
yeah. So overall, I like the weather here. I'm used to sun,
Sure.
but um, I do love to see the rain. Like if it doesn't rain here for a week, my wife and I will both really miss it. So yeah, and when it gets sunny here, it's so beautiful. It's worth the wait. It's worth all those.
In Vancouver.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy beautiful.
It is crazy because in the winter you almost hate your life at some points. You're like, oh my gosh, another week of rain. But then when like it's this weird thing when and people change. Like I'm not sure if you noticed that, but like people actually change. Like their personalities change. They get more happy and like my friend Marcus calls that hibernation. He's like people in Vancouver hibernate. Like you in the winter like you don't see people.
Oh yeah, you think that there's not many people living in the city, and
Yes.
then in the summer,
Boom.
boom.
And then like all the bikinis come out and you're like, oh, where are all these, you know?
Yeah, for sure. That's true. That's true. The 2 months that I hated here, I would say, is January and February. Are
Okay.
the two worth uh, months in worst months in here.
January and February.
Yeah, my tongue is starting to fart. Um, yeah, it's after the Christmas. Um, all the fun in the city is gone. All the lights and like the vibe and all the holiday vibes
Yeah.
are gone, and it gets the darkest. So very short days, lots of cloud and like wintry.
And it's cold.
And
Like
it's cold.
it gets really
Yeah, I
cold.
would say January and February are the worst for sure.
And I'm really, really happy this year because it's sunny right now. But like in the spring, you never know. It might just kind of rain up until like last year it rained till June.
Oh yeah. It
Which
can
is
rain a lot. Yeah.
like end of June.
Yep. I remember. Yeah. No, this year seems fun so far. It's raining just to keep things cool, and the weather keeps cool, and everything is fresh in a way, and then it gets sunny, so you can go have your fun.
Yes, I agree 100%, bro.
Yeah, I'm waiting to go for the first swim in the lake this year. So,
Oh, which lake?
Sasamat.
I haven't been to that one.
Oh, it's a good one.
Where is it at?
I would say it's north of the Kukwitlam. Yeah, north of the Kukwitlam. I don't know the exact name of that place. I know location wise on the Google Maps where it is, but yeah, north of Kukwitlam.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll have to experience this.
We should go together.
Okay, I think I was about to invite myself.
No,
Yeah. I was gonna
Feel
do.
free to
I was gonna
invite
do
yourself.
I was gonna do the Persian thing. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
I will definitely come with you guys.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for coming on here, my friend. It's great. Why don't you tell us your company name again, and then
Craftify.ai.
Craftify.ai and the website?
It's Craftify.ai.
Craftify.ai.
Yeah.
And is that the name of the product as well?
Yes.
Okay. Craftify.ai. Yep. And are you on social media or anything like that? Or?
Yeah. Our social media and everything is there. We are active on Discord to support and help, and working to add more content in our social media for sure.
All right, very cool. I hope everyone goes out and checks out Craftify.ai,
Thanks a lot.
and thanks for being here, folks.
Thanks for having me, and
Yes.
thanks everyone.
Yes, bye-bye.